Hello and welcome to Quiz Class. My name's Ellis and I'll be your host for today's General Knowledge Quiz. This General Knowledge Quiz has 100 questions in it, and we'd love you to let us know at the end of the video how many points you scored and which Quiz Class award that gets you. From Champion to Master to Enthusiast to Apprentice to Explorer. Let us know how you rank in the comments at the end. So without further ado, let's get started with today's quiz. Good luck. Here's question 1. Which TV series gave Robin Williams his breakout role as Mork from Ork? Cheers, Mork and Mindy, or Taxi? So for each question you get 3 multiple choices. You need to locate the correct answer. For this one it is Mork and Mindy. Question 2. For which film did Robin Williams win his Academy Award? Dead Poets Society, Good Will Hunting, or The Fisher King? Often a few of the questions will be bunched together with some sort of link, so here Robin Williams seems to be the theme. The answer to question 2 is Good Will Hunting. Question 3. In which 1987 film did Steve Martin play a modern-day Cyrano de Bergerac? The Jerk, Roxanne, or Parenthood? Still in this world of comedy actors, do you know the answer to this one? It's Roxanne. Martin Short starred alongside Steve Martin and Chevy Chase in which comedy? Inner Space, Three Amigos, or The Birdcage? An absolute cult classic. It's Three Amigos. Which film made Dick Van Dyke a household name in 1964? Bye Bye Birdie, Mary Poppins, or Chitty Chitty Bang Bang? Which film made Dick Van Dyke a household name in 1964? The answer is Mary Poppins. Question 6. Which Egyptian city is famous for ancient temples? Moving away from film now is the correct answer. Luxor, Cairo, or Giza? The correct answer is Luxor. Well done if you got that one right. Here's question 7. What Moroccan city is known for ancient souks? Tangier, Marrakesh, or Casablanca? The Moroccan city known for ancient souks is Marrakesh. What iconic mountain is in South Africa? Kilimanjaro, Table Mountain, or Mount Kenya? The answer is Table Mountain. Question 9. Where in South Africa can you see penguins? Boulders Beach, Durban Beach, or Clifton Beach? Maybe you've been, maybe you've heard of it. Can you name the beach? The answer is Boulders Beach. Well done if you got that one right. Question 10. What Thai festival is filled with water fights? Loy Krathong, Songkran, or Mid-Autumn? There's a Thai festival and it's filled with water fights, and it's called Songkran. Very well done if you got that one right. Here's question 11. What Belgian city is famous for canals and waffles? Munich, Bruges, or Ghent? The answer is Bruges. What city in Estonia is filled with churches? Tallinn, Riga, or Vilnius? Tallinn, Riga, or Vilnius? The correct answer is Tallinn. Question 13. What coastline city is central to the French Riviera? Nice, Lyon, or Paris? Do you know the answer to this one? The correct answer is Nice. Question 14. Which tiny country feels like a James Bond set? Monaco, Andorra, or Liechtenstein? The answer is Monaco. Question 15. What noodle dish is considered Thailand's national dish? Pad Thai, Tom Yum, or Massaman curry? Thailand's national dish is considered to be Pad Thai. What noodle soup is Vietnam's national dish? Pho, Mi Khang, or Bun Bo Hu? The correct answer is Pho. Question 17. Which city is home to the Metropolitan Museum of Art? Los Angeles, New York City, or Chicago? If you want to go visit the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which city do you need to visit? The answer is New York City. Question 18. Mount Rushmore features the faces of how many US presidents? 3, 5, or 4? Close your eyes, visualise it. How many faces do you see? You're correct. If you see 4, the answer is 4 faces. The Grand Canyon is located in which US state? Nevada, Arizona, or Utah? The answer is Arizona. Question 20. Who is the Washington Monument dedicated to? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, or Abraham Lincoln? Well, you'd think it was dedicated to George Washington, and you'd be right to think that. 21. Which trees are Redwood National Park famous for? Coast redwoods, sequoias, or Douglas firs? The correct answer is coast redwoods. Question 22. The Great Smoky Mountains lie on the border of Tennessee and which other state? Georgia, North Carolina, or Virginia? If you ever don't know the answer, it's always worth having a guess. You got a 1 in 3 chance. The answer to 22 is North Carolina. Well done if you got that one right. Here's 23. Where was the US Declaration of Independence signed? Capitol Hill, Independence Hall, or White House? Where was the US Declaration of Independence signed? No, the answer is not on the dotted line. The actual answer is Independence Hall. Question 24. The Hoover Dam provides hydroelectric power to how many US states? 1, 10, or 7? The hydroelectric Hoover Dam provides power to 7 states. Niagara Falls sits on the border of the USA and which Canadian province? Quebec, Ontario, or British Columbia? The answer is Ontario. Question 26. The Hôtel de Glace in Quebec is built entirely out of what? Ice, marble, or glass? The correct answer is ice. It's a hotel built entirely out of ice. Chichen Itza was part of which ancient civilization? Aztec, Mayan, or Incan? Chichen Itza was part of the Mayan civilization. Which Mexican landmark served as the home of Emperor Maximilian I? Chapultepec Castle, Teotihuacan, or Palenque? Apologies for any mispronunciation on those. The answer is Chapultepec Castle. The Great Pyramid of Cholula is the world's largest what? Temple, pyramid, or fortress? The Great Pyramid of Cholula. It is the world's largest pyramid. Palenque is an ancient city of which culture? Mayan, Aztec, or Zapotec? Sometimes our pictures may aid you in getting the question right. Sometimes they're there just to accompany the question. Here, it might have helped you get the answer, Mayan. Who proposed that the Earth revolves around the Sun rather than being the universe's centre? Galileo Galilei, Nicolaus Copernicus, or Johannes Kepler? The answer is Nicolaus Copernicus. 32. Whose book on the origin of species explained natural selection? Charles Darwin, Gregor Mendel, or Louis Pasteur? The answer is Charles Darwin. Who is considered the first computer programmer for her notes on the analytical engine? Ada Lovelace, Grace Hopper, or Katherine Johnson? The answer is Ada Lovelace. Which psychologist introduced the concepts of the ID, ego, and superego? Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud, or B.F. Skinner? The id, ego, and superego were introduced as concepts by Sigmund Freud. Who developed the alternating current AC electric system? Nikola Tesla, Thomas Edison, or Michael Faraday? The answer is Nikola Tesla. George Washington Carver discovered over 300 uses for which plant? Peanut, soybean, or corn? George Washington Carver discovered over 300 uses for peanut. Who was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize and also the first person to win two? Rosalind Franklin, Jane Goodall, or Mary Curie? First person to win two Nobel Prizes and the first woman to win one was Marie Curie. Whose book Silent Spring helped launch the modern environmental movement? Jane Goodall, Rachel Carson, or Gertrude B. Elion? The answer is Rachel Carson. Gertrude Elion's research helped develop a drug to treat which disease? Diabetes, leukemia, or tuberculosis? The answer is leukemia. Question 40 now. Frank Sinatra began his career singing in what kind of venues? Broadway theatres, saloon bars, or radio studios? Tough question here. Do you know where Frank Sinatra began his career? The answer is saloon bars. The famous Bo Diddley beat is best described as a Latin-tinged rhythm, a marching band pattern, or a jazz swing beat. The Bo Diddley beat, what's it best described as? The answer is a Latin-tinged rhythm. 42. Little Richard's breakout hit, Tutti Frutti, was known for being a gospel ballad, a suggestive rock and roll song, or a patriotic anthem. Little Richard had a breakout hit with Tutti Frutti, which was known for being a suggestive rock and roll song. Which legendary guitarist once played in Little Richard's band? Jimi Hendrix, Eric Clapton, or Keith Richards? 3 guitar icons there. One of them played in Little Richard's band. Did you get it? The answer is Jimi Hendrix. 44. B.B. King was famously nicknamed the King of Jazz, the King of the Blues, or the Father of Rock. B.B. King was famously nicknamed the King of the Blues. Sam Cooke began singing with which gospel group in his youth? The Highway QCs, the Soul Stirrers, or the Five Blind Boys? The answer is the Highway QCs. How old was Elvis Presley when he died? 33, 42, or 60? When Elvis Presley died, he was just 42. Which Johnny Cash hit song became one of his signature tracks? Blue Suede Shoes, Ring of Fire, or That'll Be the Day? The answer is Ring of Fire. Question 48. James Brown is often called what honorific title? The Godfather of Soul, the King of Pop, or the Father of Rock? The answer is the Godfather of Soul. Question 49. What instrument did Jerry Lee Lewis make central to rock and roll? Guitar, piano, or saxophone? The answer is the piano. Question 50, the halfway point. What was Simon and Garfunkel's only #1 single from the film The Graduate? Mrs. Robinson, The Boxer, or Bridge Over Troubled Water? Don't forget to like and subscribe this channel, hit that bell icon to be notified on all of our upcoming quizzes. The answer to question 50 is Mrs. Robinson. Question 51. The Everly Brothers were best known for what musical feature? Close harmony singing, heavy guitar riffs, or jazz improvisation? The Everly Brothers were best known for their close harmony singing. The Dodge Charger General Lee was the star car of which TV show? Knight Rider, The Dukes of Hazzard, or Starsky and Hutch? The answer we're looking for is The Dukes of Hazzard. Which famous actor drove a Ford Mustang GT in Bullitt? Paul Newman, Steve McQueen, or Clint Eastwood? The correct answer is Steve McQueen. Question 54. In Back to the Future, what feature made the DeLorean unforgettable? Gull wing doors, pop-up headlights, or solar panels? Which of those features made the DeLorean unforgettable? The answer we're looking for is gull wing doors. The original Land Rover was inspired by which earlier vehicle? Jeep, VW Beetle, or Citroën DS? The original Land Rover was inspired by the Jeep. Question 56. Which car model has been continuously produced since 1963 with flat 6 engines? Porsche 911, Ford GT40, or Jaguar E-Type? The answer is Porsche 911. 57. Which Aston Martin became the most famous car in the world after Goldfinger? DB9, DB5 or Vantage? The film Goldfinger took the Aston Martin DB5 and made it the most famous car in the world. The Range Rover proved that utility could be combined with what? High speed, luxury or racing pedigree? The answer is luxury. Question 59. John F. Kennedy was US President during which major event? Cuban Missile Crisis, Gulf War, or the Vietnam War ended? A little bit of a history question here for you. Did you get the answer right? It's Cuban Missile Crisis. Question 60. Which French leader founded the Fifth Republic? Napoleon, Charles de Gaulle, or Georges Clemenceau? The Fifth Republic was founded by French leader Charles de Gaulle. Benito Mussolini was the fascist dictator of which country? Spain, Italy, or Germany? Mussolini was the fascist dictator of Italy. George W. Bush was US President during which terrorist attacks? Oklahoma City bombing, September 11, or Boston Marathon bombing? George W. Bush was US President during September 11 terrorist attacks. Who was Britain's Prime Minister during most of World War II? Winston Churchill, Neville Chamberlain, or Clement Attlee? Do you know the answer to this one? Prime Minister of Britain at the start was Neville Chamberlain, but during most of World War II, it was Winston Churchill. So that's your answer. Who was the only US president elected to 4 terms? Franklin D. Roosevelt, Harry Truman, or Dwight Eisenhower? One of those was the only US president elected to 4 terms in office. And that person was Franklin D. Roosevelt. Kemal Ataturk was the founding president of which country? Greece, Turkey, or Egypt? The answer is Turkey. Genghis Khan unified tribes of which region? Mongolia, Persia, or Siberia? Genghis Khan unified tribes of Mongolia. Which US founding father was the first Secretary of the Treasury? Thomas Jefferson, James Madison, or Alexander Hamilton? The answer is Alexander Hamilton. Question 68. Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany in which year? 1929, 1933, or 1939? The correct answer is 1933. Augustus was the first emperor of which empire? Byzantine, Roman, or Ottoman? So some tough questions have been coming your way. How are you getting on so far? The answer to this one is Roman, so well done if you got that right. 70. Otto von Bismarck was the first Chancellor of which empire? German, Austrian, or Holy Roman? That's Otto von Bismarck. He was the first Chancellor of the German Empire. Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of which country? India, Pakistan, or Bangladesh? Jawaharlal Nehru was the first Prime Minister of India. 72. Which actor's career was revived by the 2008 film Iron Man after struggles with addiction? Robert Downey Jr., Ben Affleck, or Bradley Cooper? The answer is Robert Downey Jr. Question 73. Which actress went to rehab at just 13 years old? Drew Barrymore, Demi Lovato, or Edie Falco? The correct answer is Drew Barrymore. Which country singer credits his wife Nicole Kidman with helping him into treatment? Tim McGraw, Keith Urban, or Garth Brooks? The answer is Keith Urban. Question 75. Daniel Radcliffe admitted he drank heavily during the filming of which movie series? Twilight, Harry Potter, or Lord of the Rings? Well, the movie series that starred Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter. Question 76. Which Friends star became addicted to painkillers after a watercraft accident? Matthew Perry, David Schwimmer, or Matt LeBlanc? The correct answer is Matthew Perry. Question 77. Which actor was a member of the 1980s Brat Pack and later sought treatment in 1990? Emilio Estevez, Rob Lowe, or Tom Cruise? The answer is Rob Lowe. Candy corn was first created in which decade? 1880s, 1920s, or 1950s? From celebrities to candy corn, we really test all areas of your knowledge in this quiz. The answer to 78 is the 1880s. Question 79. Hershey partnered with which organisation during World War II? The Red Cross, the US military, or Boy Scouts of America? During World War II, Hershey partnered with the US military. 80. The Baby Ruth candy bar was controversially claimed to be named after which US president's daughter? Ruth Cleveland, Alice Roosevelt, or Margaret Truman? So we're looking for the name of the daughter here. Of course, it has to be Ruth Cleveland, the Baby Ruth candy bar. The Everlasting Gobstopper originated as a fictional candy in which novel? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, James and the Giant Peach, or Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? The answer is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Sour Patch Kids' US rebrand in 1985 was inspired by which toy craze? Beanie Babies, Cabbage Patch Kids, or Transformers? The correct answer is Cabbage Patch Kids. Which candy was dubbed the Great American Chocolate Bar? M&M's, Hershey's Milk Chocolate, or Baby Ruth? Have you got a sweet tooth? Is it helping you at all with this group of questions? The correct answer for 83 then is Hershey's Milk Chocolate. Question 84. Jane Austen's novel First Impressions was later published under what title? Emma, Mansfield Park, or Pride and Prejudice? Again, a great segue from sweets to authors. The answer is Pride and Prejudice. 85. Ernest Hemingway won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1954 for which work? For Whom the Bell Tolls, The Old Man and the Sea, or A Farewell to Arms? The answer is The Old Man and the Sea. Question 86. J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit began as what? A university lecture, a bedtime story for his children, or a short story contest entry? The correct answer is a bedtime story for his children. Edgar Allan Poe is credited with inventing which genre? Detective fiction, Gothic romance, or historical fiction? The answer is detective fiction. The Watergate scandal ultimately forced which US president to resign? Richard Nixon, Gerald Ford, or Lyndon Johnson? The correct answer is Richard Nixon. Question 89. Who were the two Washington Post reporters who investigated Watergate? Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein, Dan Rather and Peter Jennings, or Tom Brokaw and Walter Cronkite? A tough question here. Can you get it? The answer is Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. 90. The Teapot Dome scandal centred on secret oil leases in which US states? Texas and Alaska, California and Wyoming, or Oklahoma and Colorado? The Teapot Dome scandal centred on secret oil leases in California and Wyoming. The Whiskey Ring scandal took place during which president's administration? Ulysses S. Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, or Richard Nixon? The Whiskey Ring scandal took place during which president's administration? The answer is Ulysses S. Grant. The Whiskey Ring defrauded the US government primarily through manipulation of which tax? Whiskey excise tax, tariff duties, or railroad tariffs? The Whiskey Ring defrauded the US government primarily through manipulation of whiskey excise tax. Which chamber of Congress acquitted Clinton after his impeachment trial? House of Representatives, Senate, or Supreme Court? Hope you're keeping up with some of these wordier questions as we're in the home stretch now, towards the end of the quiz. The answer to question 93 is Senate. 94. John Cleese co-created which legendary British comedy troupe? The Goodies, Monty Python, or The Goon Show? The answer is Monty Python. Question 95. In Fawlty Towers, what was Cleese's iconic character's name? Nigel Booth, Basil Fawlty, or Reginald Cross? John Cleese's iconic character's name was Basil Fawlty in Fawlty Towers. What was the name of Paul Rubens' most famous character? J. Longtoe, Pee Wee Herman, or Moses Feldman? Paul Rubens was the brain and the face behind Pee Wee Herman. Question 97. Which long-running variety show made Carol Burnett a household name? The Gary Moore Show, The Carol Burnett Show, or Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In? Are you going to go with the obvious choice there, or risk it for another? You'd be right to go for the obvious choice. It's The Carol Burnett Show. What was the name of Chaplin's famous screen character? The Vagabond, the Little Tramp, or the Silent Fool? Chaplin's famous screen character was called the Little Tramp. Question 99. Which 1972 film earned Richard Pryor acclaim as a drug-addicted piano player? Blue Collar, Lady Sings the Blues, or Which Way Is Up? The correct answer is Lady Sings the Blues. And question 100. Who was Richard Pryor's frequent co-star in comedies like Silver Streak and Stir Crazy? Gene Wilder, Eddie Murphy, or John Candy? Try and finish on a high and get this last question right. Question 100. Who was Richard Pryor's frequent co-star? Gene Wilder is the answer. And we always finish with a bonus question here at Quiz Class. Raging Bull is a story about which professional who raises through the ranks? Let us know the answer in the comments, and whilst you're there, let us know how many points you scored and which Quiz Class reward you are taking home. Champion, Master, Enthusiast, Apprentice, or an Explorer. Look at those points and see which one you win. And that really is it for our quiz today. Thanks a lot for joining us and playing. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified on all of our upcoming quizzes. If you can't wait for those, there are plenty of quizzes already uploaded that you can try right now too. My name's Ellis, I've been your host. Thanks again for joining us today at Quiz Class. We'll see you next time.